everyone, it's me Kaylee. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with all of you my tips and tricks for visiting the Disney World theme parks that I gained while working there as a cast member. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, about a week or so ago I put up a poll on my Instagram story on whether or not you wanted to see a tips and tricks from a past cast member or a testing Disney recipes video next, and you guys all voted for the tips and tricks from a past cast member. So I filmed the video, it was all great, I had it ready to upload about 2 days ago, but when I uploaded the video, a friend saw it and called me and informed me that the video was frozen pretty much. So it went through this whole half-hour long video, but it was just a picture of me for a half hour with no words. So that wasn't gonna work, so I had to go and delete that. I tried to fix the video, but for some reason it was just this one frame and there was no fixing it, so I had to delete it and start all over. So instead, about 2 days ago, I uploaded the video of my pin mail haul. If you haven't seen it, I will try to remember to link it in the description below, but if not, it is just the last video I published on my channel, so you can go check it out. But I published that video instead of this one because of that reason that there was some technical difficulties happening and I couldn't figure it out. So now I am filming this video and hopefully it goes well. Hopefully the video doesn't malfunction or anything and I can upload it tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, so hopefully this video will be up on Wednesday. So I have all of my tips written down. I have 22 tips that I'm going to be sharing with all of you that I gained while being a Disney World cast member. So I do have 3 disclaimers that I want to share with you before I get into the tips. Number 1 is that I do not speak for the Walt Disney Company in any way, shape, or form. None of these tips have come directly from them. They are all things that I personally learned while working there or just by being able to go to the parks weekly and figure it out for myself. So none of these tips come directly from the Walt Disney Company. Disclaimer number 2 is that I worked for Disney World in Orlando, Florida. I did not work at Disneyland in California or any of the Disneylands in Europe or Asia. So some of these tips may not work at those parks. Some of them may work, but some of them may not. So I just want to put that out there. I did not work at Disneyland, so if some of these tips don't work there, that may be the reasoning behind that. So I just want to put that out there. I've actually never been to any of the Disneylands. It is something that's on my bucket list, but I don't know which tips will work in the Disneylands and which won't because I've never been there. And my 3rd disclaimer is that all these tips and tricks I learned pre-pandemic, so before COVID. So right now with the parks reopening, they have different procedures relating to capacity. Certain rides aren't open, I think. There's no meet and greets, stuff like that. So some of these won't pertain to going to the parks right now because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Hopefully soon we will get the pandemic under control and things can go back to normal, or pre-pandemic normal, and these tips will help you then. So right now some of these tips may not work for you. For example, I have I think 3 tips relating to character meet and greets. Obviously right now those tips aren't going to help you if you decide to go to Disney World like tomorrow. They're not going to be helpful because there aren't any character meet and greets. So these are mainly for when the parks are running normally. I do this because I don't know if and when we will get to what we knew as Disney World previous to the pandemic. I hope we do, or at least get somewhere close. But I don't know what the future holds for the Walt Disney World parks. Anyways, I am going to now get into the tips. So some of these tips are kind of well-known tips, but I decided to include them anyways, just in case someone watching this is their first time going to the parks, and this is the first video they're seeing. I want to make sure they have all the information. So the first tip that I have is to bring a reusable water bottle. So you're going to Florida. It is going to be hot. No matter what time of year you go, it is hot most of the day. For the most part. There were a few days that I was down there that it was like 45 degrees out. But for the most part, even in January and February, it is going to be hot. So bring a water bottle. You want to stay hydrated. You can buy water bottles in the park that are filled with water, like the Dasani waters. However, they're very expensive, to be honest. They're marked up a little bit because you are in the Disney parks, so they are going to be expensive. I think they're like between like $4 and $5 a bottle, which is a little bit outrageous in my opinion. So bring a reusable water bottle with you. Have it filled when you get there. When you run out, go to a quick service location, or I believe you can also go to like the carts that sell the ice cream and popcorn and just ask for a cup of ice water, and you will get that cup for free, and you can refill your water bottle. And the cups aren't like small either. They're like normal sized cups of ice water. Completely free. However, it is tap water. So for me, I don't mind drinking tap water. It didn't bother me. It tasted fine. But I know there are some people out there that don't drink tap water. So if you're someone that doesn't want to drink tap water, you have to make that choice for yourself, whether for you it is worth to spend the $4 to $5 a couple times throughout the day to get a water bottle that doesn't have tap water. But for me, it wasn't a big deal. I think the tap water in Disney tastes fine. Doesn't taste funny at all. So if you don't care about it being tap water, definitely bring a reusable water bottle and just ask for a cup of water to save on money. My next tip is that when you're going to Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom, to bring a ziploc bag with you. So in Animal Kingdom, there's the water ride, the Cali River Rapids. In Magic Kingdom, there's Splash Mountain, which I'm very excited about their recent announcement that they're going to be changing it to a Princess and the Frog. I'm so excited to see what they do with that. I think it's an amazing idea. But it will still be the same ride, basically just rethemed. So these are water rides that you do get wet on. Now, there was one time that I went on Splash Mountain while I was there for my program, and they had Ziploc bags in front that were a really cute design for your phone, to keep your phone safe. But they haven't always had those in the past, and I don't know if they have them for Cali River Rapids. So it's just a safe idea. Bring a Ziploc bag with you. It's very simple. You can fold it up, whatever, to put your phone in when you're going on those rides to keep your phone safe so it doesn't get damaged or anything. I don't really feel like you need one for Pirates of the Caribbean Magic Kingdom, because while it does have a drop, you don't get like very wet, so I was never concerned about my phone. But you can also use it for that ride if you're really concerned. If you are someone that would be concerned about your phone getting damaged on Pirates of the Caribbean, you may also want to bring a Ziploc bag to Epcot for the Frozen Ever After ride, because there is a similar drop and you get a little wet, but it's not anything significant like when you go on Cali River Rapids or Splash Mountain. So I wouldn't worry too much about those. But definitely bring a Ziploc bag just in case they aren't handing any out when you go on those rides, so that you can keep your phone safe. Number 3 has to do with getting a boarding pass for Rise of the Resistance at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So this is a tip that I gave everyone I came into contact with pretty much while working at Disney World. I blinked for a minute, I'm sorry. So this is a tip that I gave everyone that I came into contact with while I was working at Disney World. So what you want to do when trying to get a boarding pass is you want to get there at least an hour before park opening. So if the park is opening at 8, try to get there for 7. If it's opening at 9, try to get there for 8. So that you're very close to the front of the line, if not the first person in line, to get into the park, because you and all of your party has to be in the park to get a boarding pass. So you don't want to get there right at opening because there's already going to be a long line. So get there at least an hour before opening. Once you get into the park, when you're on your phone to get the boarding passes, use your mobile data. Do not use the Walt Disney World's Wi-Fi. The reason being is that everyone's going to be using the Disney Wi-Fi to get the boarding pass, so it's going to slow down the server. So if you're using your own data, you're going to get into the system quicker, and you're most likely going to get an earlier boarding pass, which means you're more likely to be called to go onto the ride, because sometimes they don't get through all of the boarding passes, or sometimes they max out the amount of boarding passes that they're giving for that day, and you miss out. So you want to make sure that you get like an early boarding pass so that you have a higher chance of actually getting on the ride. And to do that, you all have to be in the park relatively close to when it opens and use your own data. Once you get the boarding pass, you can turn on Disney Wi-Fi. That's not going to really matter after that point. But when you're trying to get the boarding pass, use your own mobile data so that it loads quicker. Number 4. So this one starts out a little obvious, but then there's a little trick that I added in there. So one, you want to get your fast passes as soon as possible. So I know if you're staying in a resort, you can get them a certain amount of time before your stay. If you're not staying in a Disney resort, you get them a little later. But you do have a certain amount of time before your visit that you can book fast passes. Even if it means that you have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, do it to get your fast passes. It is a first come, first serve basis, so you want to get those as soon as possible. However, that's very obvious. But my main tip with this is that if there's a fast pass, there's a ride that you really want to get a fast pass for, and your time comes and you're looking and you're looking and you don't get it. My tip, I don't know why this works at this time, but it worked for me with a lot of rides. It worked for me to get a fast pass for Flight of Passage, even though I didn't get to use it, unfortunately, because the park's closed. It worked for me to get a fast pass for Frozen Ever After. There were a lot of rides that it worked for me. So every day from that time that you were able to sign up for fast passes to the day that you are literally inside the park, at 2 o'clock, check. And that's how you will hopefully get the fast pass that you want. So usually sometime around that time, I believe they must like upload all of the fast passes that they now have available that people canceled for whatever reason. So check around 2 o'clock because you may be able to snag that fast pass that way. Alright, so tip number 5. When scheduling your fast passes, try to schedule all of them somewhat early in the day. So you get 3 fast passes per day for the parks. Try to schedule all of those fast passes for somewhat earlier in the day, because once you use the 3rd fast pass, you can pick up more fast passes. I believe you can go up to 5. So when you use the 3rd one, you can then pick up a 4th one. Then when you use that one, I believe you can pick up a 5th one. So if you have them earlier in the day, once you use that 3rd one, you'll be able to get another one. But if you have them all for like towards the end of the day, you're not going to get that opportunity to get another extra fast pass at the end of it because you're too close to the park closing. So try to schedule them for earlier in the day if possible. Number 6. Number 6. Yes, I'm on number 6. Okay. Prepare for rain. You're going to Florida. It rains pretty much every day. So don't get discouraged if it starts raining, or if a week before your trip you look at the weather and it shows rain every day. it pretty much does rain every single day. It usually only rains for a half hour to an hour, so it's not a big deal, but prepare for it. Know that it's likely going to come. Bring an umbrella, bring some ponchos. There's plenty of rides that are inside, like at the Magic Kingdom. There's the Haunted Mansion, there's Mickey's Filler Magic. So plan to go on those rides, or even just take that time to go shopping. But don't let it ruin your vacation, because believe me, it pretty much rains every single day in Florida. So yeah. Number 7. So, for those of you who have kids, or who are kids at heart themselves like I am, when waiting in line, or just like waiting around for whatever, for your food or whatever, look for hidden Mickeys. It's something that will help pass the time. It's really exciting when you find them. I think it's really cool. In a lot of the stores, they sell a book that talks about all the hidden Mickeys in the park. Buy it if you want to. If not, that's fine. But like, look for the hidden Mickeys. It's a lot of fun. Also, if you're near the Tangled bathrooms in the Magic Kingdom, look for all the hidden pascals. There's hidden pascals everywhere in that area. So look for them. It's a lot of fun and it helps pass the time. Number 8. Talk to cast members. We're there to help you, but we're also there to just like listen and try to make your trip more magical. We can't always do magical moments, so don't go in expecting magical moments. But if you talk to us, sometimes we'll get magical moments, and also sometimes it's just, especially if you're stressed on your vacation, sometimes it's just nice to talk to someone, and we can usually turn your day around. And also, sometimes you can turn our day around. Like, it's amazing working at Disney World, don't get me wrong. I loved going to work every day. It was the best job that I pretty much have ever had. But we're all human, and sometimes we have bad days. And those interactions usually meant so much, especially when we're having a bad day. So talk to us. We're there to help you. We're there to help make the magic, and we want to make the magic for you. So make sure to talk to us. Anyways, tip number 9. Check out the other perks at Disney. There's more than just the parks. All of the resorts are amazing. They're gorgeous. There's so much detail. Even if you just go to the resorts just to look around, there's so much detail in them. They're so beautiful. One of my favorite things to do is to go park hopping. And there's so many fun ways to do it too. You can take the monorail and go to the 3 that are on the monorail, which is the Contemporary, the Grand Floridian, and Polynesian. You can take the Skyliner, which I believe goes to the new resort, the Riviera, Caribbean Beach, Pop Century, Art of Animation. I want to say there's one other, but I don't remember. But go check those out. They're so much fun. There's so much to look at. There's so much detail. And like I said, it's just a lot of fun. Go eat at the restaurants at the resorts. Some of them are so amazing. Ohana is a great one in the Polynesian. There's one, I don't remember the name of it. I want to say it's something like Storybook something. I don't know. But you get to meet Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs and the Evil Queen. There's so many amazing restaurants in the resorts. Go check them out. Also, go check out the boardwalk. The boardwalk is so much fun. Go check out the other things. It's not just about the parks. Parks are a big thing and they attract a lot of people. But sometimes if you go and you just check out the park, you're missing out on so much more that there is to the Disney World resorts. Alright, tip number 10. When you go to meet the characters, and you want an autograph, make sure you open the book before you get up to the characters with the page that you want them to sign, and open your pen. This is especially important when you're going to meet like fur characters, so like Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, people like that, because it can be hard for them to open the pens, and so this just makes it easier and just makes it more efficient, and it will be an easier time. Tip number 11. So, I hope I don't get too many mean comments about this one, but don't force your kids to meet characters. some of them get very nervous and scared of characters. It can be very intimidating. Some of the characters are really big and scary. I mean, they're not scary, but like, you know what I mean, they're big. And sometimes that can scare a little child, so don't force them into it. I do have a few tips if you really want your kids to meet characters and they're a little scared. When I was interviewing for the Disney College program, I interviewed for merchandise, which is what I got, and I also interviewed to be a character attendant. So I did learn a little bit about helping with guests while they're meeting characters or in line. So one of the things that I learned with helping kids who are scared is, one, bring them to like smaller, very friendly, cute characters. Bring them to either face characters like Cinderella or some of the other princesses, or bring them to Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, characters like that. Kind of stay away from like either the bigger characters or the mean characters. Like if you know your kid is nervous to meet characters, don't have the first one they go meet be Gaston. Because while he's a really fun character meet, he can be intimidating. I was intimidated, and I've met characters like since I was 4 years old. I loved meeting them. But even I was intimidated to go meet Gaston the first time because he acts so well in character, and that can be intimidating. Also, don't first have them go meet Goofy if they're nervous, because while Goofy is really kind and really fun to meet, he's huge, and if your child's really small, that might also be scary. Also, like, stay away maybe from Ralph, from Wreck-It Ralph, because his hand's literally like 2 times the size of my head, and that's one hand. So that can also be really, really scary to kids. So that's one part of it. The next part of it is if they're really scared, still with this, like, smaller, nicer characters, I guess, ease them into it. Don't, like, force it all at once. Maybe if you are bringing your kids and you have one older that's really excited to meet the characters and one that's younger and is a little shy, maybe have the older one go and meet the character and you stay with the younger one and, like, let them see that it's okay, that it's safe and everything else by seeing their older sibling go and meet the character and it being okay. Maybe have them just give a high five, but don't push it. Try to ease them into meeting the characters, because otherwise, one, the picture's not going to look that great because they're freaking out, and then two, it's upsetting to your child, and it's going to upset the character a little bit. So just don't force it. Number 12 also has to do with character meets. So prepare to meet the characters. You don't have to go through this like lengthy preparation, but come up with a few questions and stuff to kind of like make the interaction really good and really special. Have some questions ready. If they're characters that had a sequel movie, ask the characters about that. When going to meet Ariel, ask her about Melody from The Little Mermaid 2. Ask her how her daughter is doing. If you're going to meet Anastasia and Giselle from Cinderella, ask Anastasia about the baker. Ask those questions. You'll get such great character interactions. So ask questions. Number 13. So this one, I didn't know existed until I started working. So, a little backstory, I worked at Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa, so I worked at a resort, and I worked in the merchandise location at the Artist Palette. So, what I learned while working there is that you can do a resort pickup. So, let's say you're staying at a resort, and you're in the parks, and you want to do shopping, but you still have this whole day ahead of you, and you don't want to carry a bunch of bags around with you. So what you're going to do is when you go up to the counter, you're going to tell them that you want to do your resort pickup, and you'll pay for everything there in the store at the park, and then they'll get some information from you, and they will ship it to the resort, and you can just go to the merchandise location at the resort. There may be like slight variations of where you pick it up at the resort. I know at Saratoga Springs you picked it up in the merchandise location. Other places you might pick it up at the front desk, I'm not really sure. But you go to wherever that location is, and you can pick up your packages there. So you don't have to carry everything around with you all day at the parks. So number 14. This is a tip specific to visiting the Magic Kingdom. At the end of the day, specifically once the fireworks ends and everything in the park's closing, there is a rush of people all leaving at the same time. And if you're trying to get to the TTC, which is also the Ticket and Transportation Center, everyone tends to go to the monorail. Monorail can only hold so many people. It has a very long line. You'll be standing there for a while. Trust me when I say that. You will be standing there for a while. So my tip, go take the ferry boat. One, you're likely going to get on it much faster because it can hold a lot of people. And two, it's kind of cool to go on the ferry boat afterwards because there's like this little like water electrical parade type thing that goes through the water at night, past like the Polynesian and stuff, and the Contemporary, that you see while you're on the ferry boat. So I thought that was really cool. You get to see this little like light show thing going on. So take the ferry boat at the end of the day. Number 15 and 16 aren't attainable for everyone, but if you do have the opportunity, I definitely recommend these. I loved them and I thought they were a lot of fun, but again, I know they're not obtainable for everyone. But if you can, take advantage. I definitely suggest these two things. Number 15 is take a solo trip. If you are an adult who loves Disney, all things Disney, take a solo trip. It is so much fun. You get to do whatever you want, whenever you want. You want to meet Mickey Mouse? Go meet Mickey Mouse. You want to eat lunch at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Go eat lunch at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You want to skip Peter Pan's flight? Skip Peter Pan's flight. You get to do whatever you want. It's amazing. Highly recommend it. Number 16. Again, not always attainable, but if you can, do it. Take an adults only trip. It's a lot of fun. I loved going as a kid. I can't wait till I have kids of my own that I can take to Disney World and see their reaction. But it's just a different trip when you go with just adults. And it's a lot of fun. You can drink around the world. You don't have to worry about kids. It's a great time. Number 17. Use all of Disney transportation. They are all unique and bring different things, and it's so cool to me, personally. I love taking the ferry boat, like I said, at the end of the day for the Magic Kingdom. I love taking the ferry boat. You get to see the little electrical water thing parade. Monorail, amazing. Love it. It's really cool to be up that high and like see everything, and it's just, for a lot of Disney fans, it's a nostalgic type of thing. The buses, pretty cool too. Bus drivers are always really nice and fun to talk to. Skyliner, amazing. I absolutely love the Skyliner. It was the only way that I went to Epcot was taking the Skyliner. So much fun. So utilize all of them. I haven't taken a minivan yet, but I'm sure it's just as great, to be honest. So take advantage of them. They're all a lot of fun. Number 18. Take advantage of free merchandise. As we all know, Disney is very, very expensive. And you're like, if you're anything like me, even with taking advantage of free merchandise, you're still going to spend a lot of money on merchandise. But take advantage of the free things too. You can get free buttons, like the first visit, I'm celebrating, happy birthday, whatever you want. And then there's also, they're actually right here, I can show you. When you go to the Magic Kingdom, there's a game called Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom that you can play throughout the park. And you also get these really cute trading cards. And these are completely free once you get into the Magic Kingdom. So you do have to pay to get into the Magic Kingdom, but they are essentially free. And they're really cute. To be honest, I didn't always play the game, but I always got the cards. Because why not? Number 19. So if you are staying at the resort, or even if you're not staying at a resort on Disney property, but you're going there for like a week length of time or however long, make sure you take a day to relax. Going to the parks is so much fun. It's amazing. Like, it's the best, but it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time. And you're very, very tired. My family used to always joke that when we came back from a Disney vacation, we needed another vacation to relax from our vacation. We needed a vacation from our vacation. So make sure you take a day to relax. Stay at the resort, explore the resort, go to the pool, look at the store at the resort, stuff like that. Take a day to relax. Number 20. So, Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror used to be like the main rides at Hollywood Studios. So they used to be like jam-packed in the beginning of the day. Now with the opening of Toy Story Lands and Galaxy's Edge, they're usually not that long in the beginning of the day. So my advice, first thing that you do when you get into Hollywood Studios, one is get the boarding pass the way I suggested earlier on in this video, and two, go to Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster because the wait times usually early in the day aren't going to be too bad. Number 21, relax and have fun. It can be easy to get stressed with everything going on in the parks. It's go, go, go. You feel like you gotta get everything in, especially if this is like a once-in-a-lifetime trip for you. You want to get everything done, and I get it. But don't overstress yourself. Remember that it's supposed to be fun. So let it be fun. Stay relaxed. Go with the flow. Do what you can. And enjoy yourself. And the last tip that I have is at Magic Kingdom when the fireworks are happening, the happily ever after fireworks. If this is your first time seeing it, definitely go and stand in front of the castle to watch it because the projections are amazing. But if you've seen it before, at least once, watch the fireworks while riding Big Thunder Mountain. It is so cool to be going down that like little hill thing and seeing the fireworks go. It's just amazing. I really enjoyed it. But anyways, those are all my tips that I learned and used during my Disney College program while I was a cast member at Walt Disney World. I hope some of them are useful to all of you and that you learned something new. If you have any tips from yourself that you've learned over the years that I didn't mention, please comment them in the comments below. I would love to learn them, and I'm sure other people watching the videos would love to hear them. Also, if you have tips for Disneyland in California or in Europe or in Asia, also leave those in the comments below. I would love to see all of them. It is a goal of mine to get to those parks, so maybe I'll use your tips when I finally get to them. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and rest of the week, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, guys!